Today I'm eating a dish called kalpar. Um, that's kind of a misleading name. So kal means like roasted and or grilled, and par means or it can be pan means like a kind of plate type a pan a plate type dish. Um, in the north they say par, and in the south you would probably say pan. So kalpan or kalpar. Um, what it is it's a metal kind of iron plate, little pot kind of thing that you kind of cook down meat and veggies in. So it's not exactly a stir fry. It's more of kind of a roast, where they like just cook it for a really long time on a. And they do kind of stir fry it too, but it's like a really long. It's a long stir fry as opposed to a short stir fry. So you can kind of see. So it comes with some rice, and then the main dish that I got is Veggies, which I've had before, is pork tenderloin and green beans. And then it's got like some kind of a seasoning that's been cooked in. And this has like some little strips of carrot and a bit of onion mixed in as well. But it's mostly green beans and pork. And then I also got some additional stuff. I got a fried egg, and then some other meat that I'm going to add in, which is called fei new. So fei means fat, and new means cow or beef. So fei new is like fatty strips of beef, or fatty slices of beef. So I just like to get I like meat, so I like to get multiple kinds of meat and mix them together. When I get these kind of dishes, I'll almost always get an extra meat and add it in. So the green beans are called. I think I've gone over all these in previous videos, but the green beans are called dojiao. And then it comes with some mifan rice, and you have this fei new, which is kind of like it's the same kind of beef you get for the way they prepare it for hot pot, or for what's called kao. This dish is very similar to kao. Kao is a style of barbecue, kind of like Korean barbecue, where you go to a restaurant and there's like either a hot plate or a grill, and at your table you order raw food. Whoa. You order raw food, and then you cook it at the table. Some restaurants will have like a server that comes around and cooks it at the table for you. Some places you cook it yourself. It depends on the restaurant. This kind of thing is a very similar thing, but it tends to be like a to-go item. So the stuff will be cooked in a very similar way, but they don't cook it. It's not cooked at your table. It's cooked just at the restaurant. And it's a very common like to-go dish or takeout dish. And so like this is like when it's raw, you can kind of see there's color striations in this. When it's raw, it's like red, white, like strips of like fatty beef, basically. And then the meat that came with this is just little slices of pork tenderloin, which is called Veggies. And it's been cooked down with like some carrots and some onions and some seasoning sauce. The seasoning is mostly like cumin and which is called zuran, and like pepper flakes, hongjiao, red pepper flakes or whatever. And then it's got little strips of like carrot in it, hulobo. There's a bit of onion in it, but not very much. Onion is called yangsong. And then I got it with this fried egg. A lot of places that do stuff like this will just give you a fried egg if you order it extra. This is called jiandan. So jian is a type of cooking where you have a flat plate and you just cook something flat on one side and then maybe you flip it on the other side and cook it. But you're not like stir frying it. You're just letting it sit. So actually, like the way that you would cook a steak in the West, that would be called jian, like that type of cooking where you just set it down in a pan, let it sit, cook up on one side, then flip it over and cook on the other side. So a fried egg is done that way, and so that's called jiandan. I believe this kind of thing is a fairly northern specific dish. I had something similar a while ago that was ganguo jianro. So that was like dry pan, like stir fried meat and veggies. That is quite similar, but the way they cook it is a little different. So the cooking method is different, and the seasonings they put in it are different. But the end process looks fairly similar. It just looks like some stir-fried meat with some veggies. And again, just like with all of these kind of things, these fast food type dishes, the restaurant just has a whole list of a bunch of different options, and you just pick the ones you want. Like, I picked 2 different meat options and 1 veggie option, but like I could have picked plenty of other veggies, especially like cabbage and potatoes, things like that. And then there were a whole bunch of other kinds of meat and meat kind of products, like sausages or lamb meat versus I got beef and pork. They had lamb meat. There's chicken meat. There's like all kinds of other stuff you can get with it. But this is kind of a delivery and takeout specialty type of restaurant that's basically achieving the same result of doing a kao, like a barbecue kind of thing. But you don't have to have a pan to cook it in. So like if you want to have that kind of food, usually you either have to go to a restaurant and they have a hot plate that you cook it on and you order the meats there. Or there are also places that you can order all of the raw stuff and have it sent to your house, and then you have the pot at home and you cook it up yourself. Or the little grill at home and you cook it yourself. If you don't have a little grill at home and you don't want to go to the restaurant, this is an option that's available that has basically the same flavoring and seasonings and stuff, but you can just get it delivered to your house and it's already cooked and everything. So this is kind of like it's not really a popular kind of thing as a restaurant for people to go to, but it's more of a delivery specific kind of restaurant. And there's quite a few, like delivery is quite popular here. It's quite cheap. Compared to cooking at home, delivery is more expensive. And compared to going to the exact same kind of restaurant, it will be slightly more expensive to get delivery versus eat at the restaurant. But restaurants here, even by the Chinese, not comparing it to like restaurants in America or anything, but comparing it to Chinese standards of living and cost of living, restaurants are not particularly expensive here. And so getting delivery is not a huge expenditure for most people. Um, it's definitely not something that everybody does all the, like I tend to order a lot of delivery, mainly because I live by myself, and I've found that for me, I found actually delivery is cheaper than me um, buying most types of stuff. Most of the things I would want to cook at home, if I cooked just Chinese dishes at home every day, I could do that cheaper than ordering out. But my ability to cook a lot of Chinese dishes is limited in scope. Like I can cook some stuff, but like a lot of the stuff I would want to cook is more stuff I grew up eating. If I'm going to cook at home, I'll probably want to cook the kind of things I grew up eating. And so buying the ingredients that I need for that, those end up being more expensive because they're not widely available here. So I have found that me cooking for myself at home costs about the same as ordering delivery, sometimes more, unless I'm specifically ordering like local veggies and local stuff and then cooking it in a local manner or whatever, and like trying to cook a local dish. Then I can cook for cheaper. But like in general, when I'm cooking for myself, it ends up being more expensive than at most delivery. Maybe not this. This was a little expensive. This was a bit more expensive. This was kind of a splurge thing. Mainly because I got two kinds. If I hadn't ordered the second order of meat with it, it wouldn't have been a splurge, but that added a little bit extra to it. Um, but in general, like ordering takeout and stuff here is not a super expensive thing, and it's something almost everybody does at least a little bit. Um, People might like if you have a big family or something, it's more common to cook at home for the family, but like when you're at work, people order delivery all the time at work. Getting delivery to your house is a little less common, but people getting delivery for lunch at work is very, very common. Um, and so like there's a lot of options, and there's a lot of options of things like this dish where it's kind of based on a non-deliverable option, but they've figured out a way to kind of turn it into a delivery option. And there's a lot of options like that. That's very common here. Well, this video is a little shorter than the other ones, but I this is a pretty simple dish. I don't have a ton to say about it, so that's I'll just end it there.